Welcome back to Tailor Tales. This is Commentary, and I am Ary. And I actually designed the character. I mean, you might have noticed that I redesigned her a few times. I've been on the third device right now, whatever. I'm so glad that I get free access to everything through Patreon. I mean, I guess it's not free, I'm paying for it, but anyway, I think this kind of looks like my avatar in other games now. Kind of. I tried to make it like a little bit more, I guess, rocky, or like rock and roll, or not punk, but yet, you know, like we adulted a little bit in these 10 years, but we're still like somebody that could have been in a gang later on. I don't know if that sounds like a stereotype or anything. Okay, since we're on a new device, let me just check. We need to go to another route, actually. And we just played chapter 5. I mean, not just, but like, yeah. Last time. This will reset my points, cause I don't have any on this character, so yeah. I think we had more fierce than neutral, than kind, but it was pretty even, so we don't lose that much. Anyway, yeah, whatever. This is chapter 6 now, and I'm so glad that we're back to this. I am really hyped. I mean, I always say that, but I really like this route so far. I really like him, and I hope I will like him even more if we see more of Gray. So, yeah, let's just read now. With a click of my tongue, I point a finger down the street and narrow my red eyes at the man in front of me. For the last time, you need to go around to the back entrance. I'm trying to run a business here. The man grumbles as he turns away, and I sigh in expiration. This has been happening all afternoon. I just can't catch a break. When I turn back to my customers, a woman and her teenage daughter, who had just walked in off the street, I attempt to plaster on an apologetic smile. Oh, okay. When I turn back to my customers, I attempt to plaster on an apologetic smile. Okay. I am so sorry for the interruption, I say smoothly, pacing over to where they have been browsing through a rack of formal dresses. Where were we? I'd like to have a dress specifically made for my Claire. The academy ball is 3 months away, the woman says, placing a hand on her daughter's shoulder. Claire ignores her mother completely, instead devoting her attention to the cell phone she holds in front of her nose. Cleaner Academy. I used to be a student there. The Academy Ball is the highlight of the year, I say, fondly remembering the event. And it's the truth. The Academy Ball is a dream. And the main hall is lavishly decorated in a chosen theme for the year. Only the most well-known DJs are hired for the event, and all the students will be desperate for the last fashion in ball gowns and tuxedos, no expense spared. It would be an amazing opportunity for me to bring in new business to the boutique, and one I should take full advantage of. Then you know we need something unique, but styled in the latest trends, the woman continues while Claire taps away on her phone. I'd be happy to pass your business details to our friends, should we like what you produce. I nod, understanding her meaning perfectly. I need to be at the top of my game if I intend to snag the kind of clientele this particular event can bring me. We can start by looking at some different styles and fabrics, and then I can draw up a couple of designs based on what you like. Claire finally looks up from her screen, and I smile at her, earning an interested tilt of her head in return. After that, all I need to do is take your measurements and put it all together. It will be finished long before the ball comes around. That sounds wonderful, Claire's mother says, her fingers steepled in satisfaction. When can we start? Now, if you like. I have some fabric samples over there, if you'll follow me. I start to walk over to the rack holding my formal fabrics, stopping only when the click of heels doesn't echo from behind me, and I realize I'm not being followed. Oh, you know what? I think we'll come back later, Claire's mother says hurriedly, ushering her daughter in the direction of the door. I've just remembered that we have an appointment we can't miss. Oh, I can pencil you in for another... Oh, Gray is there or something, right? The pair of them hurries past me and exits the shop, with my brows dipped in confusion. I turn to find what has spooked my customers. 2 men, large and burly, with hands all the way down to their chests. Wait, with hands? With beards all the way down to their chests, have stepped into the store, looking around in confusion. I don't believe this! Annoyance washes over me in a wave, and I storm over to the pair, hands on my hips as I stare them down. If you're looking for the basement, you need to go around to the back of the building! I must have said this with more attitude than I meant, because the men looked taken aback, one of them holding his hands up in front of him apologetically. Excuse us, miss. Didn't mean to disturb you. I blink dumbly as they exit the boutique. I have to raise Gray's rent. I'm sorry, but like this is destroying my business. The bell ringing above the door as they leave. Wow, I didn't expect them to leave as easily as that. Most of the men who had come in here had seemed confused, but were harmless nonetheless. 1 or 2 had gotten mouthy with me, but had swiftly found themselves directed to the exit. The one thing they all have in common, however, is that they're scaring away my business. And I'm not going to tolerate it any further. I circle around the counter and pick up my phone from beneath it, tapping a finger on the screen as I scroll through my contacts. I find Gray's name easily enough, a recent addition to my phone book, and hit the icon to dial his number. Holding a phone to my ear, it starts ringing, though when a familiar voice rings out from the back of the store, I end the call and pause. He's here. I hurry over to the back entrance of the boutique and pull open the door, finding the culprit in question and a couple of other guys chatting near the back door of the building. The 3 of them turn at the sound of my arrival, and Gray grins at me when he returns, completely oblivious to my annoyance. Ary, how are you today? I need to speak with you, I say, ignoring his question. Okay. Gray blinks at me a couple of times, as if he can't possibly fathom what I have to be angry about. Then he turns to his acquaintances, giving the closest one a pat on the shoulder. Tell them I'll be down in a few. Don't start without me. Aye, aye, boss. I crook an eyebrow at that. Boss? So, what can I do for you? Gray paces over, the look on his face so smug it sends a fresh wave of fury rolling over me. You can start by telling your friends not to come down into the store. They're scaring away my customers. His eyes widen, taken aback by my sudden explosion of anger. He rubs the back of his neck anxiously. I did ask him to use the back door, but some of them aren't too good with instructions. Tiny brains, you know. I have a breath, ignoring the smirk that tilts his lips and only fuels me further. I was in the middle of styling a customer for the Academy Ball when your oafish friends walked in and scared them away. Do you have any idea what this cost me? It's completely... The Academy Ball, he snorts, cutting a rant short. My rant short. You mean that unnecessary pompous? Oh. You mean that unnecessary pompous, oh my god, show of wealth the Academy puts on every year? It's a prestigious event, actually, and an important tradition. Clean Academy knows nothing of tradition. His eyes turn fierce, a coldness creeping over my face. The students are a bunch of spoiled rich kids who have never had to lift a finger in their lives. They always have been, and always will be. My breath escaped in a shaky exhale. I don't dare tell him that it was my school. I mean, yeah, if he has his opinion, I can have mine. Doesn't matter what you think, I snap, holding my ground. It's good money for the boutique, and a chance for me to have my work seen by a larger audience. Didn't think of it that way, he admits, putting his bottom lip between his teeth as he thinks it over. When he fixes me with those stormy grey eyes again, they're softer than they were before. I make sure it doesn't happen again. I nod, my breath steadier and my gaze drooping as the anger slowly begins to ebb. Hey. He steps forward and calms me with a hand on my arm, squeezing gently. I'm sorry, okay? I never meant to make things difficult for you. Our eyes lock and I believe him, and then a swift pang of guilt hits me as I remember how difficult I've made things for him. Just make sure your buddies remember it this time, I say with a tired sigh. Or I will hold you personally responsible for any loss of business.
Oh?
Oh. Gray's eyes light up at once. His interest piqued.
Hey.
And how do you intend to punish me? His eyes glint with mischief, and a disbelieving sound escapes me before I can stop it. I'm really not in the mood for this. I'm sorry. He holds up his hands and laughs softly, quite obviously not sorry in the least. I'll keep them in line. Should I thank him? You better, I might reconsider the offer. Oh, I don't know. I'm gonna say this one first. You better, or I might reconsider the offer, I warn. He cocks his head at that, squinting at me in thought. You'd kick out a friend just like that? Wait. You have to earn my trust first to be one. Oh, but I already have. You did see me practically naked after. That does not mean anything. Wait. Okay, let's try the other one. Thank you. You're welcome, Ary. Are there any other grievances you'd like to discuss? I narrow my eyes at him, though he simply grins smugly in return. Not right now, but the night is still young. He huffs a laugh, but I'm far from happy. Once his friends stop treating my boutique as their own personal go-between, then I'll be satisfied. I cross my arms over my chest. Gray looks me over, a hidden grin playing on his lip. It's unnerving. Why are you looking at me like that? He attempts to smother his grin with a hand, but fails miserably, continuing to stare at me as if I were a shiny new toy. No reason. I raise an eyebrow at him, suspicious, though a voice from outside grabs my attention before I can say anything else. No, I didn't like that one. Wait, let me redo it. I picked the other one. You had better, or I might reconsider the offer, I warn. He cocks his head at that, squinting at me in thought. You'd kick out a friend just like that. You'd have to earn my trust first to be one. Oh, but I already have. You did see me practically naked, after all. Takes quite a bit of trust to get to that point. He leans back against the wall, looking much too pleased with himself. I cross my arms over my chest. Gray looks me over, a hidden grin playing on his lips. It's unnerving. Why are you looking at me like that? He attempts to smother his grin with a hand, but fails miserably, continuing to stare at me as if I were a shiny new toy. No reason. I raise an eyebrow at him, suspicious, though a voice from outside grabs my attention before I can say anything else. Huh? What do you mean I can't come in? This is my best friend's place, you walking tree! I glance past Gray to see Sarah staring down a tall man just outside the back door, fire in her eyes. Pushing my way through, I head towards the exits, preparing to step in before Sarah gets herself crushed. Of course! Why did I was thinking they might hook up. I actually was thinking that from the beginning. I don't know why. But this might now I'm like, this might actually happen. I didn't say anything because I was like, I'm just making things up. But this might actually happen now. Maybe. I mean, not now, but you know, in the future. Anyway. This is a private gathering, and I've never seen you before, the man says to her, and I want to facepalm myself in his head. Wait, I want to facepalm myself in his stead. Oh, in his... Yeah, I misread. I would have remembered if I had. What is that supposed to mean? Just that you're very pretty, the man starts. He's cute! Sarah looks anything but flattered about the compliment, and the man quickly turns flustered. No, wait, I didn't mean to be disrespectful. Shit, I'm sorry. Jed, it's okay, mate. You can let her in. Gray steps in, amusement practically dripping from his voice when he leans in and whispers to his friend. You're hopeless, you know that? What is this? I asked in exasperation as I pushed between them, gesturing wildly at the stranger. Who is he? My name is Jed, the tall man introduces himself. That's when I finally recognize him. Oh my god, you're so slow. Back in school, he had come to the academy to look for me, and my gang had beat him to a bloody pulp because of it. The last time we met, we didn't end on friendly terms either. Luckily, it doesn't seem like he's paying much mind to me. He's my best mate, Gray says, drawing my attention. He makes sure no suspicious folk come wandering in here, trying to join our game. I have half a mind to tell him that all of them are suspicious, but I stop myself. I thought you said you were playing board games. We are. So you're telling me you need a bodyguard for a board game night? Yep. Sarah scoffs, rolling her silver eyes at the pair of them. Wait, her eyes are actually silver? I always thought they were blue, like grey blue. What a load of... Well, we've taken enough of your time. Gray interrupts with a clap of his hands, grabbing Jed by the arm. Come on, Jed. We'd get down there before they let's go down there before they riot. What the hell's going down? I really want to know what they do down there. I watched them leave in silence. What just happened? Sarah turns to me, her eyes wide in disbelief. I have no idea. I rub my temples, desperate for some peace and quiet after that encounter. Why were you using the back door anyway? I thought it might be better than coming into the store while you're open. No, I never expected to be met by a 7-foot mountain man guarding the place, she said with a scowl. Chuckling, I agree with her. Jed was quite the built man. I'm sure. I'm just about to close the store. Are you hungry? Starving. She grins at the prospect of eating food, and I'm not surprised in the least. I wave her towards the stairs to my apartment, while I head back to the boutique. I'll meet you upstairs in a few. Oh, are two parties going to happen? Like, they have party down there and we have party up here? An hour later, Sarah and I are sitting on my sofa, 2 large glasses of wine on the coffee table in front of us, as we dig into the pasta Alfredo I've just whipped together. There's a show on TV, some trashy reality show about a group of singles left alone on a super yacht. In English it's yacht, right? And we leave it playing in the background while we chat. Oh, I can relate. So, any other dates coming up? I asked Sarah, who makes a face at me as she chews. No, but I found this new app that matches you up with someone based on your computer browser history. It sounds promising. I stare at her, unsure if that was a joke or not. When she says nothing else, I realize she's completely serious. So, you will be matched with someone who enjoys gluten-free baking and funny videos of dogs, then? She gives me a withering glare and I laugh, knowing I'm totally right. Why don't you just, I don't know, meet someone the old-fashioned way? Right, because that worked so well for me in the past, she says sarcastically, taking another bite of pasta. Or just sign up for a reality television show. They look like they're having fun. I point at the TV and Sarah's notes, dismissing the idea. Then she stops suddenly and grabs the remote, turning down the volume and tilting her head to the side. You hear that? Yeah, I was wondering, will they hear something from the basement, right? I pause and listen. I don't hear anything. I think it came from the basement. It was kind of like a... Never mind. She shrugs and turns the volume back up to normal, resuming the show, and I continue eating. I still can't believe you let the Phantom rent your basement, she says with a disbelieving laugh. I never knew you had a death wish. I don't. I feel sorry for him, that's all.
Huh?
Why? I hesitate for a second before putting my half-eaten empty plate down on the coffee table and turning to Sarah, preparing myself to come clean with her. There's something I never told you. She raises an eyebrow, and I swallow thickly around the nervous lump in my throat. Back in high school, the night of the challenge, I didn't get pulled aside by the cops like I said I did. Okay. The truth is that I bailed. I explained everything to Sarah, how I helped Gray the first night we met, how I tried to cover it up a dozen of times after that, knowing the gang would rain bloody hell down on me if they found out, and how I called the cops, got Gray arrested, and kicked out of school. That was the reason I agreed to rent my basement to him. To make amends in whatever small way I could. When I finished speaking, Sarah stared at me wide-eyed. Please say something, I say quietly, folding under the weight of her stare. I can't believe you didn't tell me any of this. I hesitate for a moment, knowing that I should have come clean with her a long time ago. I was afraid of what would happen if the gang would find out. You know, they wouldn't have taken it well. I guess afterwards it didn't matter much because I left them anyway. Screw the gang, she fires back, her temper rising. I would have had your back, Ary. It doesn't matter now. What's done is done. Sarah looks inclined to disagree, but for once she holds her tongue. My phone beeps, interrupting the conversation. I glance at the email notification icon. When I open the app on my phone, I immediately notice the sender, and my face falls. That's weird, I mumble, tapping the screen to open the message. What is it? An email from Nikki. Sarah gives me a disbelieving look, pulling her legs under her as she turns to me. I thought you two weren't friends anymore. Why not? I mean, I haven't spoken to him since graduation. What does it say? I scan the email briefly before cleaning my throat and relaying it to her. Dear Ary, I know it's been a long time since we last spoke. I'm sorry we never kept in touch. I know you didn't want anything to do with the old gang once school was over, but I wish I had tried harder. I'm a teacher at the academy now. How weird is that, huh? I heard you got into fashion business. My students are putting on a play next month, and I wondered if you might be willing to help us out with the costumes. Let me know if you're interested, and you can work out a time to talk. It would be good to hear from you after all this time, Furious Demon. Oh, shit. That's not my name. Kitsune. Nikki. Silence stretches between us, only the sounds of the TV in the background cutting through the quiet. Eventually, Sarah lets out a long breath.
Oh.
Wow. Yeah. What are you going to do? I think for a moment, still reeling from the sudden blast from the past, before I speak. I don't know. On one hand, it could be a good opportunity to show off my designs. When I trail off, Sarah nudges me with her sock-cladded toe. But... I let out a heavy sigh, weighing up my options. But I don't want to get dragged back into my old life again. Not now that I have the boutique and responsibilities. And Gray, you are going to tell him who you are, aren't you? She questions. Yeah, I should. I should! I've been saying that from the beginning. I don't know. Would it be terrible if I didn't? Yeah, yes, it would be. She gives me a disbelieving look, as if I just asked if she should. Wait. She gives me a disbelieving look, as if I just asked if she thought I should have my feet and hands switched.
Huh?
Yeah. After what happened to him, don't you think the least you could do is offer him an explanation? I mean, this is probably what they will fix in the new version when it releases, because like they said, like they will probably like they're gonna edit stuff of the MC like hiding her identity from him, and I think this is probably what they meant. So maybe like the roles will be reversed, where Sarah is like, no, you cannot tell him, and MC is like, I guess I shouldn't, you're right, or something. I don't know. I'm also disapproving of it, so yeah. But this is the version before the release, so this is what we got. I completely disapprove of it too. Like, not telling him. Actually, I think it would be kind of me not to bring up old wounds, I say as a joke, but the look of guilt on my face gives me away in an instant. I can't do it, Sarah. Sarah sighs, and I know she doesn't agree with me, but it's not her decision to make. It's your choice, Ary. All I'm saying is that one day you might end up regretting it. Yeah. I mean, think about the... Sarah stops again and presses the mute button on the remote, her head cocked to the side. You seriously don't hear that? I shrug, shaking my head. I have no idea what she's talking about. What does it sound like? Like banging and groaning, she says in confused. What are they having down there? Are you sure you're not just hearing things? What are they doing down here? I want to know. She pokes her tongue out of me, and she raises an eyebrow. Gray said they were using the basement for board games, right? But what if that's just a cover? What if they're doing something else? It's not like the thought hadn't crossed my mind. Board games may just be a euphemism for something else, who knows? Seeing all those sketchy and muscular figures entering the basement doesn't dispel that fact. Gray had a reputation for trouble back in the day, so it's plausible that he could be up to something. But he did want to rent out the basement pretty bad. Sorry. What do you know about Gray? She asks. Absolutely nothing, I reply. She gives me this look, like she's formulating something in her head.
Huh?
Can't enter the basement, huh? Nope, he got the keys. It's his domain. She starts to chew up on her nails, deep in thought. So, you got the Phantom in your basement, doing who knows what. I got that right. I nod sheepishly. What if we follow him? Sarah suggests. Huh? I exclaim. You want to follow him around? You want to straight up stalk him? Oh, come on. He's the one doing shady stuff in your basement. You don't know if it's shady stuff. This is not right. I just want to make sure he's not doing anything illegal, you know? Make sure your boutique is off the hook. Off the hook. Sarah has a good point. I'm a little apprehensive though. It feels like I'm going back to my roots, where I'd wait up for some riversider at the end of the school day. I do have his address on the contract he signed for renting the basement. We could wait until he leaves tomorrow and trail him. She nods, a smile pulling at the corner of her mouth. I should have known the idea would be right up her alley. I like the way you think. No, this is not good. So I really like the parts where Gray is in it, but I'm not sold on the stuff around him, I guess, or around the route. I don't agree with most of the decisions, it feels like. Anyway, the next morning, Sarah and I linger behind a couple of trees. Yeah, wow. Near Gray's address, waiting for him to make an appearance. Wait, he doesn't live in the basement. He just uses it. Okay, didn't get that before. I adjust the oversized sunglasses to sit on my nose, hoping my disguise would work in case they knew. Wow, yeah. Way to make yourself, like, undetectable. Like, dude, like, he also has a shady past. He's probably aware that somebody's following him. With a sigh, I return to tapping away on my phone while we wait. I've just crushed another level on Candy Crush. Wow. When a familiar voice gets my attention, and Gray finally emerges from his house. Crap, that other guy is with him, Sarah points out, and I immediately notice Jed's hulking form. They seem to be having a casual conversation. I sure hope that they won't be returning to the basement on a weekend, otherwise this whole trailing plan will fall apart. Luckily, they start walking in the opposite direction of Beauty Beast. Keeping a healthy distance, we follow the pair as they head down the street. It starts off like any normal day shopping in the city, I suppose. They stop to get coffee, call in to the pharmacy, and grab a bite to eat. Sarah and I sit at the cafe across the street, sipping on a couple of smoothies and impatiently waiting for them to finish their food and move on. We've conveniently placed a couple of menus to hide our faces. And eventually I grow tired of peeking over the top of them. Time drags on, and I'm just about to suggest we give up when Sarah nudges me to get my attention. Look! I follow her pointed finger, and my eyes widen when I notice the shop that Gray and Jed have just walked to. I let out a groan. It's a sex shop. Ah! A sex dungeon, she exclaims confidently, making my eyes bulge out. You think so? Well, let's follow them and find out. Sarah grabs me by the arm expectantly, and I'm forced to follow along. Doesn't mean shit, yeah? Doesn't mean anything, alright? Dude, like, it could just be that they're just looking at stuff, or like buying something for themselves. It does not mean it's a sex dungeon, alright? Like, we live in a day and age where this is normal. Or it should be. Anyway, I'm hesitant to enter the shop, but I know it's our best chance of finding out what Gray and his friend have been up to in my basement. I don't know. No. Why am I here? When we enter the shop, we hide down an empty aisle, peeking around the sides to catch a glimpse of the guys. Oh my god, this is only getting worse. They would definitely find us. We find them eventually. Jed flicking through a few magazines on a rack, and Gray in the aisle next to ours. They split up, Sarah whispers. You keep an eye on Jed. I'll follow Gray. I instruct, earning a nod before she slinks off. Oh no. I turn and walk casually to the end of the aisle, trying to be quiet, but not obvious. Brightly colored packages line the shelves on either side of me, and once or twice I do a double take, baffled by some of the items the shop offers. This would be so awkward. I'm especially surprised when I peek down the aisle that Gray is currently in. Whips, gags, handcuffs. Oh, he likes it rough. Oh god, is he into these kinds of fetishes? Gray has something in his hands, and I lean around further to try and get a better look, and knock over an entire rack of sex toys. And he's gonna come over to help me pick it up or something, and then the awkward will begin. I can feel my stomach fill with anxiety as I watch the boxes clatter onto the floor. With a stifled yelp, I sprint away from the scene, not staying to see if Gray had noticed anything. Sniffing down the end aisle, I lean back against the shelf and let out a breath of relief. I seem to have made it away undetected. I don't think so. After catching my breath, I risk a peek around the corner, seeing the various toys scattered over the floor, but no sign of Gray. That was embarrassing, but I also feel guilty knocking over some products and not staying behind to pick them up. Hello, Ary. Ah! Clutching my chest, I turn to find Gray standing next to me. My heart hammers in my ears like a drum. What are you doing here? He asks me in his neutral tone. You probably thought I'm too innocent or something for a shop like this, so he's just, like, genuinely puzzled. He gives me a suspicious look. Oh, he thinks I followed him. And an instant, oh no. He gives me a suspicious look, and on instinct I grab the item closest to me, holding it up and saying boldly, "No, don't do this. I'm shopping. Can't a grown woman shop for sex toys in peace?" Gray snickers, his eyes landing on whatever I'm currently holding in my hand. I look up. Oh no. Realizing in my mortification that I've picked up an enormous neon pink dildo. Oh, come on! You know, I think they have bigger ones in the back. My face flushes red, my cheeks flaming hot as I quickly put the item back on the shelf, looking over a few others in the process. Like a fool, I scramble to keep them upright before a domino effect knocks them all off. Gray laughs even harder, amused by my reaction. Not knowing what else to do, I walk away from the aisle. Gray's laughter dies down, and he catches up to me, giving me a much sterner look. What are you really doing here? Oh, he's gonna find out anyway, huh? I don't know what I should say. I really don't know. I'm gonna pick fierce first. But I'm kinda leaning towards kind. Because I think he will find out anyway. I already told you, I'm shopping, I say in exasperation, I hate this word. Matching his stern look. Still going with that excuse, are you? Alright then, what are you shopping for? Maybe I can help you find it. Oh, you're a connoisseur, huh? How do you know so much about women's sex toys? I question him, raising an eyebrow. A cocky smirk appears on his lips, and he brushes the hair away from his face. If you must know, I have quite a library of expertise in... Gray taps one of the boxes on the shelf. Toys. Well, that's certainly information I would have been fine with not ever finding out about. So, what are you looking for? He asks, a sly grin on his face. I look around desperately, quickly grabbing the most innocent thing I can find. For one of these. Do you even know what that is? He quirks an eyebrow at me. I studied a nude-colored package, looking for a clue. Yes? Gray stares at me, his face a mixture of amusement and impatience. They're nipple clamps. I press my mouth into a thin line, staring him down as if I totally meant to grab a pair of nipple clamps. Yes, I lie with as much confidence as I can. They're for me. Give it up already, Ary. I know you were following me, along with your friend. My jaw tenses, lips pursed in defiance before I speak altogether. Fine, I say in defeat, putting back the package back on the shelf. I was following you. Happy now? He grins, and I'm sure he thinks he's awfully clever. Yes, but I'll be happier when you tell me why. I rack my brain, trying to come up with an acceptable excuse. I can't just openly come out and say that Sarah and I were worried he was lying about how he was using the basement. We were just trying to find out more about you. You spent a lot of time in my basement after all. His face softens a little as he lets out a breath, nodding as though that makes sense. If you want to know something, all you have to do is ask. I pause for a moment, thinking about it. It can't be that easy, can it? Alright, I'll ask. Why did you come into the store? He gives me a sly grin, shoving his hands into his pockets. Because I knew the two of you were following us. You're not exactly subtle, you know. My eyes widen slightly. He noticed us all along. I told you. Was he just making us go out on a wild goose chase? I didn't think you were brave enough to follow us in here, he finishes. Oh, sorry. I didn't think you were brave enough to follow us in here. I make a face at him, wondering if he's telling the truth or if it's just another cover. Sarah's words about running a sex dungeon ring through my mind. Well, we weren't going to let a sex shop stop us. He breathes out a soft chuckle, and I can almost see the cogs in his head working to come up with a comeback. But he then just looks at me, that boyish, crooked grin tilting the sides of his lips. Well, if you entered the store, it would be a shame to walk out there empty-handed though, wouldn't it? Greg scans the nearby shelves, plucking a rectangular box from one, sorry, and handing it to me. Here, I recommend this one. Have fun. You look like you need it. That's so mean! Dude! He saunters off before I even look at the box, but when I finally do, I realize he's handed me a purple vibrator. My eyes widen at his nerve. Gray! I storm down the aisle just in time to see him following Jed out of the front door. My face just looks beet red, but he throws me a wink from over his shoulder and exits the store, his laughter echoing behind him. I'm so embarrassed. Well. Yeah, that was quite a ride. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I'm just gonna leave this chapter standing on its own. And yeah. See you next time. Bye!